For great ideas and practical tools you can start using tomorrow to grow your business and separate you from the competition, you've come to the right place. If you're into B2B marketing and sales, then welcome to the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast. With over 60 and counting total years in the trenches of businesses small and large, they have a plethora of knowledge and experience that generate you more leads, capture more clients, ring up more sales. Well, doggone it, just make you more money. How about that? Always thought-provoking, yet dubiously entertaining. Please welcome to their respective microphones across 3 time zones, your co-ringmasters, the Dave Loomis, and not the rock star, Steve Miller.
Yeah, I am so ready.
So ready.
Yes.
Boy, we are so ready. And hi, everybody. This is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad, marketing gunslinger, not the real Steve Miller. No. I am with my compadre, partner in crime. What do you want to call him? I don't know what we call him, but we do call him
new best friend.
It's getting past new. The Dave Loomis. Say it.
Correct. The Dave Loomis.
The voice, Mr. Voice.
Yep,
now, before we came on, we were talking about bourbon.
We were.
Which I'm a bourbon fan, and apparently, oddly enough, because we never agree on anything, and we never have any similarities or anything.
Never.
Like that. Oddly enough, Mr. Voice is also a bourbon fan, and here we are. We're talking about our favorite bourbons with each other, and doggone it, Dave is so sharp. He is just like this. He said, do you know that the topic for our program today is referrals?
Correct. And we were just trading word of mouth stories about different bourbons. And I said, oh, you drink Bullet. That's great. Have you ever tried Angel's Envy? And you said, I've heard of it and I want to try it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but
Can we make a leap from something like that to
you've now
B2B?
pushed me over the edge where I literally might, when we're done here, I might literally get in my car and drive over and.
Oh, you should. It would be worth it. It would be worth it. Anyone listening,
don't mind the cat. Don't mind the cat if you hear the cat. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't hear the cat.
So what we decided today was that today's topic would be about referrals because, I don't know about you, Dave, like a few years ago, I did a survey of what I call my BFFs. Okay, I don't have followers, I don't have fans, I don't like those terms.
Is it business BFFs?
Yeah.
Look, so
anybody who, God, that's really sharp. I'm gonna have to remember that. But I call them my BFFs, and people really they take that nomenclature with pride. And whoops, I think you're frozen. Are you there? I lost you.
Oh, I'm back. I should be back. But it says my internet
I'll cut that part out.
is unstable.
I'm going to delete that part out. But in editing.
Okay, delete that part.
Anyway, so what was I talking about? I was talking about that a few years ago I did a survey of all my BFFs, and I asked them, okay, how important are referrals to you? Okay, well that was kind of a rhetorical question, but and they're all like going, oh yeah, super super important. But I said, what? I said 2 questions. 1, what percentage of your business comes from referrals? Now this is the B2B world, right? Do you care to take a shot at what you think the answer was for the group? It was I surveyed a couple thousand people. I probably had 400 or 500 responses.
I really have no idea. I mean, there's a number of customers, but then there's revenue, and all I can say is that if you had both of those, I'll bet that the revenue number percentage is higher than the number.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I would agree with you on that.
Come out of referrals.
Yeah, I didn't go that far into it, but that's a good question and something for us to comment on. But people said 48% of their business came from referrals.
Shoot, I was going to guess 50%.
Yeah, 48%. But then my next question was, do you have a formalized referral marketing program? 74% said no.
What boy, that makes you think, like, if you have that high a percentage on an informal basis, what percentage could it be if you had a formal program?
And that's my whole point. That is exactly my whole point. My whole point is what is wrong with you?
Right.
I mean, if these people represent half your business, if getting referrals represents half your business, wouldn't you want to get really, really good at getting referrals?
I think you would, especially when, we've talked about this before, and we're going to be thinking more about this in the future. You'll all hear more about our plans to talk about this, but I think both of us agree that there's probably too much complexity in marketing, and there's a lot of shiny objects around there, and people talk about cost of acquiring a customer and all the things that you have to do these days to find leads and nurture them through the whole buying process and all that kind of thing. Yeah, it gets expensive. A referral, that's probably a much simpler process and much less expensive, and someone else is helping you do the work.
Well, it should be. You would think it would be, but the thing that absolutely baffles me is that I also think it is so freaking obvious that if and let's talk about the value of referrals, because for the most part, at least in my experience, and you can certainly pipe in on this, in my experience, first of all, referrals are high quality leads.
They are some of the, if not the highest quality leads.
When handled correctly.
Correct.
And I think that's part of what we need to talk about. When handled correctly, they are some of the highest quality leads you're going to get, because your clients or customers, your friends, people who know you or something like that, when they refer somebody to you, for the most part, they're already pre-qualifying these people.
Well, exactly. So it's funny you should say that, because I wrote down 3 key things that have to happen for someone to refer you.
Oddly enough, and again, surprising, I have 3 things written down. All right.
We did not discuss this beforehand.
We have not discussed this.
But here's what I put down.
We are separated at birth.
We really are.
That's what we are.
We might even not be separated. Who knows?
We don't know that. Okay.
Okay. So here are my 3 things. We're assuming that the person that refers you is a current or past customer or something.
Yeah. Let's start with that. Let's use that.
Assumption.
Let's just use that as the base that we want to work off of.
So that person, one, has to understand what you do. And I say that because they may be exposed to part of what you do and what you sell, but it would be much more highly beneficial if they really understood the full scope of whatever your product and services are. And they don't usually, unless you actually tell them, because they're exposed to a very specific thing that you've done for them over the years. Okay, so let me get through my 3. Okay, so that's one.
I'm not talking.
Okay, I know you were about to. Though. I can see you were about to.
I know I wasn't. I'm listening. Okay. I am totally listening.
All right. So one is they have to understand what you do. 2 is they have to think of you, or remember you when a topic comes up. It's about what you do. In other words, they have to put 2 and 2 together when they hear of an opportunity that they could refer you. Okay, so how does that happen? And we'll get into this maybe, but they have to.
This might again be a two-parter like we had with
it's got to be top of mind. You've got to be top of mind with them.
Yeah.
They can't forget about you. They have to remember you. And the third thing is, and this is probably the most important, they actually have to trust you. In other words, you have to have done a good job with them, or they're not going to refer you because they don't want to make themselves look bad. And we've all been in the same position. When we refer other people, are we going to refer someone who maybe there's a 50-50 chance they might screw up? I don't think so. So those are my three.
Okay. Now, before I give you my three, let me ask you a question. Why do people give a referral? Now, I think you gave one of the reasons. You said they trust you.
Why did they give a referral from a personal standpoint? I think people give referrals because they like to help other people out. Just from an instinctual level, they like to help other people out when they hear that someone might need help. And provided that this person that they're referring, to is not a competitor, then, people like to share if they have a really good resource. They like to share because the opposite of what I said, they don't want to make themselves look bad, but they also want to make themselves look good. They want to.
But that is what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to help. They want to help a friend.
Yep.
Okay. Or a peer.
Correct.
They want to help them. In addition, they want to help us.
They do. Exactly. And the more they know about us, and even, this is going to sound strange, but even if they know that we actually need help, like maybe we actually tell them outright, hey, I'm trying to grow my business. I probably have never talked to you about this before, but if you hear of anything, please think of recommending me because I'm trying to grow the business. Oh, that's interesting. I never really thought about that before. I'll keep my ear open.
Okay, and we'll circle back to that because I have a very, I'm not going to say a different, but I have a pirouette perspective about that. Okay, all right. Let me share my three. Number one, and this still fits in with what you were talking about. Okay, number one, I believe the purpose of marketing is to be on the mind of the prospect when the prospect is ready to buy.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Now, referrals are an extension of that. What referrals are, and you said this, okay? You said this. You said that when that moment, so like imagine
they have to
that
think of you.
one of our clients is talking to somebody, or they get a phone call from somebody. They're talking, and that person says, man, I got a problem. I need to fix this. Or I have a challenge. I want to fix this challenge. Or I have a new project I'd like to take care of. Okay. That's that magic moment.
All right. It is.
And our client needs to, the lightning bolt comes out of the sky and it says, oh, Steve Miller, Dave Loomis.
Right.
Right? They have to remember us at that moment. So, with that in mind, I believe it takes more than saying to people, "Hey, I'm trying to build my business. If you ever hear something like that." Okay, see, that to me is what everybody does.
Okay.
Don't you think so? I mean, think about it. How often do you see on a website where they say, "We love referrals"?
Well, sure. I think of it as a more personal approach, but I think you've got an idea you're going to tell us something. What I want
to do is I want to help them remember. I want to help them think about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say to somebody, hey, my name is, you know me, the Dave Loomis. I'm the author of this spectacular book. Okay. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 6 copies of this book that are signed. Anybody you think would, get value out of this, give it to them as a gift from you. And you say to them, I've worked with this guy. You know what? His book is really good. You should read this book. And if you got any questions, you can either contact or let me know. I'll introduce you to him.
Yeah.
So in other words, what we're doing is we are facilitating that connection.
I love that.
And
I love that.
And what's important is to say to people, when that moment comes, here's something you can give them.
Right.
All right. That is of value, useful information, interesting, high value content. I trust this person to the point where I'm going to give you a copy of Dave's book.
Right. Now, let's say I'm an industrial widget maker from Columbus, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
What do I give them? What do I give them then?
Athens of the Prairie.
Oh, okay.
That's what they call themselves for their architectural.
Okay. Good to know. So, maybe I'm Cummins Engine, and which is located there. So obviously, Cummins Engine is an OEM manufacturer of engines for all sorts of things, including one of my clients. Heister Yale, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does somebody like that do?
Not really a lot different, because it comes back to, from my perspective, everything is about people. Everything is about person to person, human to human, not business to business. Right. I hate the term B2B. I really hate the term B2B.
Even though it's in the title of our podcast, and
I understand that. I understand that. But you know what I'm doing? We're doing that because that's what people are looking for.
Yes.
Right? So, but ultimately, it is, we are dealing with people who happen to work for a company.
Exactly.
All right. But they're still people. So anything I can, I want to help my customers be as successful as possible. And if they are successful in the conversation, during the conversation, the whole time I'm working with them, I'm going to say, hey, look, 48% of my customers are referrals. That means I really depend on referrals a lot. Here's what, I would love for you, when the time is right, I would love for you to help me with this. Now, I'm going to give you tools so that when you remember this, you have something and you hand it over to them, okay? And then your responsibility is gone. There's no more. There's no more. Sometimes I think that with referrals, like number 2 that I have on my list, no incentives.
No incentives.
Don't pay people.
Oh no,
for a referral.
No.
That changes your relationship with them. You are now taking a relationship of working with a customer, and you're now saying to them, hey, you can financially benefit by referring people to me.
Yeah. It kind of just doesn't feel right, does it?
No, it doesn't even smell right. Feel right, smell right, doesn't look right. All the senses.
We all know people. We all know people who do this.
Yeah. It's really common.
And it's to me, I don't do it at all. In fact, if you go to the website, you and I have talked about this, my website, has a team page on it, and it's a bunch of collaborators who I trust. And we refer one another to each other. And none of us benefit whatsoever from those referrals. And somebody asked me about it and said, well, wait a second, what's in it for those other people? Why are you? What's in it for you? Why are you even doing this? And I'm just doing it to be helpful. And, there is a little bit of karma here involved in that you're paying it forward, and, it's the right thing to do. But it doesn't it so even just the slightest seed of doubt, if you recommended a resource to someone and then they found out afterwards that you got a spiff for recommending them, even if that recommendation was the best recommendation of all of them, they still might think, oh, well, that's why they recommended them.
It makes it dirty.
They benefited personally.
It makes it dirty.
It does.
And I think I always tell people, look, go watch the freaking movie Miracle on 34th Street if you have never watched it before. Watch it from a business perspective. Because from a business perspective, the most significant moment in the movie is when the Santa Claus is talking to a mother, and her daughter has just asked him for a Crimea River baby, doll, right? And he says, "Oh, no problem. You're going to get that doll, right?" And then he lets the kid go, and the mother walks up to him and he says, "Hey, Santa, Macy's doesn't have this doll," or whatever the store was, right? "Why are you doing this? Why are you saying it?" And he goes, "Oh, it's okay. I happen to know that Gimbals does have that doll."
Right.
All right. And the mother goes, "Wait, what?" And he says, "Yeah, Gimbals has this doll." And she goes, "I've never, you're recommending that I go to Gimbals?" And he goes, "Well, yes. Yeah, it's what you want. We don't have it. I'm going to tell you where to go." And she walks away just shaking her head. And then a little bit later in the movie, shortly after, she's talking to the manager, who is furious that he has recommended, somebody go somewhere else. And she has gone up to the manager. She said, "I can't believe this. You talk about living the spirit of Christmas. I think this is so amazing. I will tell everybody about this story. And I'm a lifetime shopper of Macy's now." Tell the, who.
It's like your guy at Nordstrom's taking back the tires that they don't sell.
They don't sell. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So see, referrals to me are, and I hate to use the word complicated. They are more than just simply saying to people, "Boy, we love referrals. Hey, if you ever have it, if you ever meet somebody who could be, or even the worst, going back a step, where, and I see, boy, how often does this happen? Where a salesperson makes a sale. I'm even embarrassed to say this. Okay. I was selling radio time in Tucson, Arizona for KIKX radio. I was a DJ, and they made us also sell time during our time slots.
Oh, okay.
And I was the worst it's a long story, but I was the worst salesman that ever. I had never sold anything before. I'm selling time to a pet shop owner. And I literally browbeat him into buying. Yeah. And he finally
Nice job.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself. He finally bought like $200 worth of advertising.
Nice.
Well, and everything I had read in all the sales books told me the moment somebody signs the contract, ask for referrals.
Oh, right. Like Northwestern Mutual Insurance agents.
The moment somebody asks,
they ask before they sell it, they ask for referrals.
And so he signs that thing, and I looked at him and I said, "So, do you have any friends or peers who might also be able,
so that you can browbeat them.
Yeah. Oh, and he sat back in his chair and laughed. And he said, "But Steve, they're my friends."
Well, exactly. That's why I have a little trouble with the Northwestern Mutual approach.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little bit much. So
yes.
I have I wrote down.
We need to wrap this up.
Okay.
I think we can go to. I think there's a second segment where we can actually get into the how-to.
Yes, because I had a question here, and this is kind of a good wrap up because we won't answer it. But do you have to wait and hope for referrals, which is what most people do, or can you ask customers or set up a program for them to refer you? And if so, how do you go about asking, or how do you go about doing that?
That's a great question, and let's answer that in the next show.
Sounds great, Steve. Hey,
take us out of here. Take us out of here, Mr. Voice.
All right. Well,
that was good. That was fun.
Very fun. We do have fun here.
Especially the bourbon part. I'm going to go get some bourbon.
Yeah. That's going to make the happy hour fun. So thank you very much for listening to the B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast with Not the Rockstar, Steve Miller, and myself, the Dave Loomis. And we'll see you next time.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast, the source for B2B marketing and sales insight. If you enjoyed the podcast, please be sure to subscribe and leave these old guys a 5-star rating. Check the show notes for any links and contact information. You can always contact us by going to b2bmarketingsalespodcast.com. Thank you, and keep on marketing, keep on selling.